Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy MF Crypto here, aka Quanstradamus, once again. And as always, I'm on a mission to help you build generational wealth. Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel to my fellow subscribers. And for those of you who may be tuning in for the very first time, welcome in as well. Do yourselves a major favor if you haven't done so already. Hit that subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications because I provide the single best quant network updates on all of YouTube, as well as other major crypto gems that you should be aware of. You have stumbled upon the holy grail of crypto YouTube channels, home of the wife-changing digital assets. I have a very exciting video for you today. Quant Network and its native token QNT is bigger than all of crypto. Why it will create future millionaires, as well as billionaires for those of you who may have gotten in earlier or may have acquired a large sum of QNT tokens. Don't go anywhere because I will be going in very, very explicit detail all the way to the end here. Why Quant can make you a future millionaire. You don't want to miss this. Taking a look at the charts here, we're on the monthly. We had that explosive run-up, guys. QNT was the envy of all of the cryptocurrency sphere. Haters were in absolute disbelief. We ran all the way up to 225.83 in the midst of a bear market. It's absolutely astounding. This project knows no limits. When it takes off, it makes its own decisions because it's that powerful. We've seen recent financial conferences that Quant has been a part of, such as Sibos and Corticon, and we know, as well as X-Merge by FinTech Nexus, we know that Quant Network is making major inroads and showing why their Overledger system is the key to the financial future, with interoperability being at the forefront and being one of the most talked about topics at all of those conferences, and how they can seamlessly bring together all blockchains for the future of central bank digital currencies. Guys, this project is an absolute sleeping giant, and we have recently seen it awoken. It will go to 4 figures in the next bull run. I guarantee it. Save this video, save this clip, because my reputation is on the line. This project will undoubtedly go to 4 figures in the next bull run. So honestly, right here, guys, this little pullback that we've seen from 225, which was up at its crazy peak, all the way down now at 164.18 since the video's been running, not worried about it at all. Completely healthy for the price point. And even if we do backslide even further down, back around the $100 range, I'm extremely confident, and I personally will not be selling any because I know how explosive the potential of this token will be in the future. I am a long-term hodler. But at the same token, I want you guys to feel more than comfortable taking profits here, because we have seen an explosive run-up and we are almost assuredly going down a little more. But I want you guys to feel completely comfortable taking that profits, because in crypto, it's important to take profits when we have big run-ups from time to time. Just know that my unshakable conviction for this project is keeping me holding on all in throughout this entire process. Let's switch gears over here to a very important article that I have wanted to highlight for quite some time, but I was saving it for this video because I want this to be one of my absolute Mona Lisa masterpieces for you guys. This is a Medium article Crypto SEQ, value beyond speculation, why Quant has the potential to be an incredible long-term investment, which those of you who are familiar with my channel know that it is an incredible long-term investment. Blockchain is going to completely revolutionize most industries and even the internet itself. Amen to that. We are presented with an incredible opportunity to invest in projects at an early stage that have the potential to become the next Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Googles of the world. This is important, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of people use this major comparison to other crypto projects. But with Quant Network, it's actually the case. One day, Quant Network will be among these massive giants such as Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. I am 100% convinced. Not financial advice, always do your own research, but we will be going into here very shortly as to why I believe that to be the case. Whilst there are many great projects and a lot of awful ones as well, there are only a small number which have the tokenomics to match, and this is why Quant is at an amazing point here of an investment. This project has incredible tokenomics that we will go over, and why we have seen such a great run-up during this bear market that other projects could only wish to achieve. The two projects I will cover in this mini-series, for our purpose, strictly Quant, QNT. Both projects have the potential to be an incredible store of value and an extremely rewarding long-term investment. In this article, I will be looking at Quant. These are my views and should not be considered financial advice. I strongly urge everyone to not waste this opportunity and spend time doing your own research into any project you invest in. Here we go. We're going into the meat and bones of this article. Token value beyond speculation. A look at EY's formula to derive the valuation of crypto assets and discuss how value can be calculated based on fundamentals. We want to do this right, guys. I love this article. They're doing it right. Total addressable market size, obtainable market share for the product, service, token velocity, token supply metrics, and QNT token distribution. Here is why token utility and use case value of this project is massive once it sees huge adoption, which we're already starting to see in recent weeks with institutions starting to get in because they know how massive this project will be. Details of the QNT token utility, licenses, Overledger network, gateways where you can stake and passively earn more QNT, which is an incredible opportunity, which I will get into more in the future. Platform fees, add-on services, user licenses, community treasury with layer 2 payment channels, consumption fees, marketplaces, open source connectors, combine any blockchain and API-based system to create new products. Any blockchain and API-based system, it can connect all of them. Huge. Multi-chain oracles, gateway staking, signing of transactions, and more. Its value is not limited to one or two potential systems or operational components. This project is going to be addressing incredible areas in the crypto sphere and financial sector moving forward. It's going to solve enormous problems that have yet to be solved, and they have the solution. Why QNT has the potential to be an incredible long-term investment. Topics covered include market size Quant is targeting, benefits of interoperability compared to other platforms, partnerships, meetings and discussions with central banks, governments, importance of SIA, globally recognized standards, network of networks. I talk about that all the time. It is the network of networks, one token to rule them all. Building the foundation for a new internet which is secure and inherently trustworthy. Collab with MIT, U.S. government, Intel, Juniper Networks, payment companies, and telecoms to create open digital asset protocol, token velocity, token supply, the team, Gilbert Verdian, the OG, Andrew Carrier, all of these massive players that know what they're doing and have their eye on the prize for the future. Sustainable business model. Token value beyond speculation. Speculation is currently the main driving force for valuation of all tokens, and it will continue to play its role in the future. But without fundamentals driving demand for the token to back that speculation up, at some point reality will kick in and the price will correct. The larger the disparity between speculation and fundamentals, the larger the risk for holders. Guys, this product is way beyond speculation. It is 99% fundamentals with maybe 1% speculation. And you saw that 1% of speculation just over the past month, and look at what it accomplished. Its run up during this bear market is absolutely unprecedented. It rewrit the entire rules of what can happen during a bear market. This token is very special. Token supply metrics. We have all heard about the Fed printing trillions in the current crisis, with M2 calculation of money supply increasing by just over 20% this year alone. Over the years, this has led to the dilution of the purchasing power of the dollar. It's not uncommon for many projects for supply to increase by 10% every year, regardless of whether there is a crisis or not. Polkadot, for example, has 10% yearly inflation. Cosmos has between 7 and 20% inflation, and all without a maximum supply to cap that token. The tokens being capped is enormous for tokenomics moving forward, so they can't just be brought in and inflated, such as currency like the US dollar example here. The difference between total supply and max supply is that total supply represents the total supply of currently minted tokens, whereas the max supply is the max number of tokens there will ever be, which is very important in Quant's case. As an example, if a non-fixed cap has a current total supply of 1 billion and a token holder owns 10% of the supply, 100 million tokens, with a 5% yearly inflation rate, after 50 years the total supply will be 11.4 billion. And instead of owning 10% of the supply, they or you would own only 0.9%. This is a huge critical factor that this article is addressing. With a 10% yearly inflation rate, the total supply would be 117.3 billion, and they would own just 0.009%. With QNT, there will never be more than 14.6 million tokens and zero dilution. This is the clincher right here, ladies and gentlemen. QNT's total token supply is capped. Their maximum supply will never raise beyond 14.6, and it will be lower than that because tokens get lost in the mix, sent to the wrong addresses, or simply just locked away in a wallet address that people may never touch again for various life circumstantial reasons. This is why this project is enormous. Its tokenomics are second to none in the entire space. Clearly fixed cap supply tokens are preferred to avoid the continuous dilution of the token. A decreasing circulating supply through lockups, burning of tokens will have further positive effects on price. A combination of an increase in demand and a reduction in supply will lead to a larger increase in price. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we see the lockup of QNT tokens into the Overledger system for gateway staking, when these financial systems, banks, and conglomerates are forced to utilize the QNT token if they want to play ball in the new financial system of the world, imagine what that will do to the price of QNT with how low its total supply, maximum token supply is. It absolutely boggles the mind when you think about it. These tokens will quickly be locked up, and there will be very little, if any, left for the public to get their hands on, driving the price up exponentially. The QNT token. QNT is an ERC20 token on the Ethereum blockchain. Whilst it is currently on the Ethereum blockchain, this is big. It is blockchain agnostic, so can easily swap to any other blockchain. Ethereum was chosen simply due to it being the most widely used blockchain with well-established integration for wallets and exchanges. The team completed a burn of 9,545,765.95 Quant due to the ICO not selling out in difficult market conditions at the time, and fewer tokens were minted, the details of which can be located here, as well as detailing why the amount shows different on Etherscan. And I can post this link for you guys so you can see this down below in the description. No inflation, max supply of only 14.6 million. Circulating supply will decrease due to lockups, creating deflationary pressures, as I previously mentioned. QNT has 2/3 the supply of Bitcoin, and unlike many other tokens, even including Bitcoin, until it reaches the 21 million in circulation, there will never be any more tokens minted, with the supply being fixed at 14,612,493. The team hold a small percentage of the tokens which are already unlocked. This is in contrast to most projects which have vast amounts of tokens waiting to be introduced to the market, further diluting the value of existing tokens in circulation. In addition, the circulating supply of QNT will decrease due to token lockups through various methods outlined later in this article, creating deflationary pressures. Token utility. Licenses. To be able to use the platform, developers, gateway operators, and enterprises have to purchase annual licenses. Licenses are paid in fiat, which the Quant treasury then converts to the equivalent amount of QNT. This means enterprises don't have to worry about purchasing QNT directly from exchanges, as the treasury handles that for them. An Overledger network oracle will be providing the pricing for USD to QNT conversion. The QNT purchase for the annual licenses are locked up in Layer 2 payment channels for 12 months, thereby reducing the circulating supply and token velocity of QNT, while it's granting developers access to the system. After 12 months, the license expires and the locked QNT is moved to the QNT treasury. To continue to be able to access the system, the developer must renew their license, repeating the process, resulting in QNT being locked up for a further period of 12 months or a year. This creates a constant yearly demand for QNT, and as the platform grows exponentially, and oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, it certainly will grow exponentially, and we have seen wallet holders of QNT growing exponentially day over day, week over week recently, especially in this past week. So too will the number of licenses required to be purchased each year. I know this is a lot of information for you guys, but I will provide the link down below if you want to piecemeal it through it later on at your own leisure. Developer licenses. Quant Overledger is an enterprise DLT operating system that connects to any DLT and application programming interface, or API, based systems, providing scalable interoperability. It exposes their combined functionality through a single API and allows coordinated transactions and business processes to happen across all the connected DLTs and API-based systems. In order to leverage all their DLT assets together, organizations can license and run Overledger for internal use and deploy it on-prem or in their own cloud instance. A single API for application development provides all the functionality of all the DLTs they have deployed, with multi-chain smart contracts extending current DLT smart contract functionality across all the connected DLTs. The network of networks. Overledger connects everything together seamlessly, guys. It's so valuable to the future of the cryptocurrency space, and this is why I say it is bigger than crypto itself. It is absolutely mind-blowingly massive. Developers will be able to obtain an annual license to develop applications on Overledger through the purchase of QNT tokens, equivalent to a fixed fiat amount. The developer wallet will in turn be authorized to access the platform for the length of the license period, i.e. annual, as well as develop, sign, and publish applications. Overledger Network Enterprise License. Overledger Network for Enterprise also allows organizations with an appropriate business model and controls to make its own in-house DLT assets available to partners, group organizations, and third-party developers, and make revenue from the use of those assets in a secure, trusted ecosystem of the Overledger network. Any number of organizations running Overledger can connect and do business across their DLTs by connecting their Overledger gateways, either privately or through the Overledger Network for Enterprise, to create trusted private business platform across and between their industries. Guys, this system is going to be so incredibly enormous for big Fortune 500 companies, as well as the little guys or people seeking to grow their small businesses. Its use case value is bigger than crypto itself. It's really hard to understand and put it into layman's terms. But I hope this article is helping you to see just how incredibly massive the scope of this project is. The Overledger network ecosystem can connect to all the DLTs globally that organizations need to do business and present them in a single API with a vibrant marketplace of applications and with the simplicity and ease of use of today's internet. With the trust, privacy, and security that only distributed ledger technology can provide. Enterprise license fees will be determined on the basis of number of users, number of employees, types and number of applications, internal, external, native applications, or web-based, etc., volume of Overledger transactions. This is a great image here of the Quant network and how incredibly massive it is and how it connects everything together and all these huge Fortune 500 companies together seamlessly. Look at the asset value that it will capture, guys. Try to imagine this when all of these are interconnected together and Quant is running above all of them. And they all utilize the Overledger system to conduct business in a trusted environment, whether privately or on the enterprise system. Guys, this is so enormous. It's way, way bigger than crypto. It absolutely blows the mind. If you are not currently aware of Quant Network or do not have a position, you need to start paying attention and build your portfolio with Quant as a part of it. Not financial advice, always do your own research, but I'm giving you some incredible research here that you cannot turn a blind eye to. Overledger Network Gateway Operator License. Enterprises wishing to offer others access to their in-house DLT functionality or data, whether partners or on the open market. Overledger gateways are the solution. Overledger gateways connect public or private DLTs to the Overledger network, making their assets available with full control at a price you set to applications, both in-house or on the marketplace. With Overledger gateways, customers can also connect new public DLTs to Overledger network or offer connectivity to existing public DLTs and gain transactional revenues. Community members can also run gateways to earn a percentage of transactions that pass through their gateway to resources they make available. If you already host blockchain nodes and participate in different networks, you can complement your node infrastructure with Overledger network gateways and also earn QNT transaction fees on top of your blockchain node rewards and earnings. Through open source connectors, explained later in the article, developers and operators will be able to add any type of data sources and resources to their gateway connector and advertise them to the rest of the network. By having unique data sources, resources on the Overledger network, all requests of that resource will be linked directly to your gateway to be the designated gateway for that particular service. This network has networks within the network to take care of any business and seamlessly connect them to whatever needs and whatever partners that they want to make and conduct any business with any other big conglomerate or service that they are looking to do and conduct that business with. The network of networks is the only way to truly describe Quant Network. It's so incredible. Platform fees. In addition to the license fee and developer license approach, enterprises also have to pay a platform fee, calculated as a percentage of the license fee in QNT. QNT will be obtained and managed through the Treasury by Quant Network on behalf of the client at a given day's rate. Add-on services. Quant will be releasing enterprise add-on services which provide additional features and services which can also be consumed as middleware. These will be released with updates to Overledger for enterprise to utilize. Users. End users will also need to hold QNT to be able to run MDApps and access the Overledger ecosystem. Huge component right here. If you want to utilize MDApps and access the Overledger ecosystem, which is going to have enormous demand in the near future, you have to hold the QNT token, which again creates increased value and pressure on the token to go upwards in valuation over time. The license key will expire annually and must be renewed using only QNT. Tokenomics are second to none, guys. This is a similar approach to the Apple App Store. You need to be able to copy and at least mimic the big dogs if you want to become them one day. Fake it until you make it. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Quant Network isn't faking a single thing. They are the big dog of the future, and they're quickly gunning for that top position in the CoinMarketCap space rankings. As you've seen over the past month, they have rocketed up the charts and left other weaker, brittler projects in the dust in their wake. It's a marketplace where you pay Apple 1,000 euros for an iPhone, which has the keys on the device to access the App Store and run and use iOS apps. Rather than purchase the phone, the license is acquired to access the ecosystem. Note, please don't take this as each user needs to spend 1,000 euros a year to access the platform, as that is not the case. It is just an example showing how Apple charged for access to their platform by selling the phone with the keys. It's giving you an example to show you how Quant Network is also operating their system and the amount of value that they are capturing and acquiring by having these other corporations and users utilize the system. Community Treasury. The Community Treasury is a multi-chain decentralized application, or MDAP, operating in a trustless manner with the use of Layer 2 unidirectional payment channels. This enables scalability of payments for transaction fees in QNT, with the vast majority of transactions being performed off-chain instantly, with only minimal transactions being done on-chain, such as the opening and closing of channels and random reconciliations. This means, despite QNT being an ERC20 token, it doesn't matter about Ethereum's low TPS or high Ethereum fees, which have recently, as we all know, been addressed by the merge. The Community Treasury's role is to handle QNT payments flowing from users to the gateways in such a way as to disincentivize faulty behavior from any user or gateway, and to do so in a manner where it can be held accountable to any observer. There are systems and protocols in place, ladies and gentlemen, for this network to function at a very high level because it will be demanded and utilized by the elite of the elite corporations and Fortune 500 companies, as well as low-level users and medium-level users. So you need to understand how important it is for them to do all their background work and to have all these levers at their disposal to fix any potential problem or hang-up that they may have along the way. The team at Quant Network is doing all the background work. They are doing next to no advertising of their product. They have for years kept a very low profile on social media because they want to get it right, and they are getting it right. And we've seen it. Their product is second to none. The patented Overledger OS. It is the God token. QNT, ladies and gentlemen, is on a God tier. Each payment channel created will hold a certain amount of QNT funded by the creator of the channel, and the channel is set to expire after a declared time period, after which all unclaimed QNT can be reclaimed by the channel creator. The creator of the channel can increase the amount of QNT and adjust the timeout period for the channel. The receiver in the channel can claim a certain amount of QNT from the channel when certain conditions are met, such as provide proof they have received an off-chain transaction sent to them by the creator. And again, there are additional links here that you can click on throughout this article that is absolutely phenomenal on the breakdown, and I needed to go over this in large detail because I am a very serious Quant Network channel, so I want to give you guys all the very important and detailed information to this project that you can always come back to in the future with this video. So if it is too much, I understand this is a very long video, but I want you to have all the proper information at your disposal to make your own assumptions and conclusions. My number one priority is providing the best and most detailed information to you watching my content, because that's very important to me. I'm trying to guide you guys on that path to generational wealth. Consumption fees. Consumption fees are paid for usage of Overledger as well as to gateways for performing functions as part of Overledger network. As QNT is on the Ethereum blockchain, the community treasury uses unidirectional payment channels to vastly increase transaction throughput as well as minimizing transaction fee cost. The payment channels require a lockup of QNT in order to be used. The more QNT locked up and the longer for, the cheaper QNT transaction will be as more transactions are sent off-chain, thus reducing the token velocity compared to other platforms used for transaction fees, and that longer and bigger QNT lockups would be beneficial for the QNT market price. Now let's get into Overledger. Enterprises and developers will need to pay for reads and writes to Overledger. Developers will need to make payment in QNT based on a fiat value, whilst enterprises will pay in fiat, which then gets converted to QNT through the treasury. As enterprises will have larger volumes of usage, there will be multiple payment options for pay as you go, pay in arrears, pay in advance, prepay, unlimited usage, number of users. The Overledger network. The community treasury allows developers to pay gateway owners QNT to use their resources. Each developer has a unidirectional payment channel open to the community treasury. The community treasury has a unidirectional payment channel open to each gateway, and the community treasury is responsible for routing payments between the developer and gateway channels. A gateway will earn a fee in QNT for every function request correctly processed before the response timeout limit. These fees will accumulate in a treasury to gateway payment channel, the total of which can be claimed whenever required. Users. Users will each need to deposit an amount of QNT that will be used to pay fees to gateways for processing functions. This deposit will be used to find a payment channel between the user and the community treasury. Any fees that haven't been spent when the channel times out is closed will be returned to the user. The user also has to deposit a small amount of QNT to cover the cost of any penalties for raising incorrect disputes. This dispute deposit is not expected to be large, but it is used to disincentivize a user from raising many unnecessary disputes and is returned if no unnecessary disputes are raised. Marketplaces. MDApp Store. Quant's vision is to build an ecosystem around Overledger, allowing for developers and enterprise to innovate, create value, and build game-changing multi-chain applications for users and their customers. They plan to foster innovation by directly incentivizing developers with an app store model akin to Apple and Google stores, but instead for blockchain-enabled multi-chain decentralized applications. Guys, if they are able to accomplish their mission, they are looking to develop an app store akin to Apple and Google stores, which are huge app stores today that process millions of dollars of transactions. This project is absolutely astronomical. I know I've said that multiple times throughout this video, but again, I'm trying to beat a dead horse here over and over again because you need to understand the scope of this project. I started this entire YouTube channel with this in mind. This is the ultimate generational wealth opportunity. You are living at an incredible time in history that you have the ability to invest in something like this. Do not let it slip through your fingers. Quant Network will be giving developers the choice of using the best business model for their multi-chain decentralized apps, in line with the market's expectations via any of the following 4 revenue models. Freemium model. In this model, users don't pay to download or use the multi-chain dApp, but they can pay to get access to additional sets of features. Paid model. In this model, users pay once to download the MDApp and use all of its functionality. No additional charges will apply. Subscription model. In this model, users pay for a daily, monthly, annual subscription to use the MDApp. In-app model. In this model, users are able to download the MDApp for free or at a cost, but are charged when they use in-app functionality. Developers independently decide how much to charge their users for their apps. Overledger Network Marketplace. The Overledger Network Marketplace is an ecosystem where data holders and service providers can advertise and sell services, data, APIs, and any other off-chain or on-chain integration or resource you can connect to your gateways for the ecosystem to consume. Quant is building the marketplace directory and front end to start listing services. The gateway service or data is then published to the rest of the network to build applications, MDApps, with and for users to consume and use. You, as the data owner and gateway operator, set the price and the rules for the use of the data or service. You can set the transaction fee in QNT for each service, transaction, or event for consumers to buy from you in QNT. This payment of your service or data is managed through the payment channels in the treasury, where you are paid directly to your wallet through the treasury as the intermediary between buyer and seller. The treasury facilitates all the transactions between parties and takes a percentage of the transaction as fees. Members of the Overledger network ecosystem will be able to buy and consume services and data with payments handled by the Overledger network community treasury, further increasing the demand for QNT and locking more in payment channels. Open source connectors. Quant will be releasing open source connectors so that developers can connect any blockchain or API to Overledger network and be part of the network of networks. Based on globally recognized standards that Gilbert founded, ISO TC 307, and which 57 countries are working towards. This model can be reused to connect to distributed databases, big data providers, APIs, and any type of service a gateway wants to provide. The integration of open source connectors to the Overledger network will provide organic ecosystem growth. The increased variety of data sources and services will lead to more complex multiple chain apps being developed, which should, in turn, drive further connectors to be developed. Pick and mix, combine any blockchain and API-based system to create new products. And this is a great example. It's like at the candy store. You have all these different levers at your disposal with all the different varieties of candies in them. And you can mix and match however you see fit to whatever favorites you like, or whatever product or service that you would be utilizing, or whichever bank you would be utilizing and sending payments and transactions in. You have the ability to do so because the Quant Overledger system connects them all seamlessly. The one token to rule them all. When I've said this on my channel in the past, now you can see what I mean in explicit detail here. I hope you guys are beginning to see what is going on with Quant Network. It is the greatest asset on planet Earth and much larger than crypto. DeFi on Ethereum enabled dApps to easily interoperate with each other and be combined to build exciting new products. This combing of multiple projects together is exactly what Overledger has set out to achieve from the start with multi-chain decentralized applications. Rather than being restricted to combining projects within a single ecosystem like Ethereum, Overledger enables developers to utilize multiple different blockchains to tailor-make their application to take full advantage of the benefits of each of the blockchains without having to compromise on a single one, as well as integrate with any API-based system. Pretty much everything has an API nowadays. Treaty contracts enable smart contracts across multiple blockchains to take this to another level. The idea of combining apps goes far beyond just DeFi. This is what the future of all applications will be, interacting with supply chain, decentralized identities, financial platforms, healthcare, IoT or Internet of Things, as well as interacting with non-blockchain networks, all in a scalable, interoperable way, following globally recognized standards and without imposing restrictions on the underlying blockchains or adding additional overhead latency bottleneck. It takes all of the data and all of the formula making, of combining all these blockchains together seamlessly, and it takes away any of the additional overhead latency or bottleneck. Guys, this project, oh man, you're so early, guys. We are so early, okay? Now, the window is narrowing, but this project, it's one of a kind. It is simply one of one. And I'm so excited for each and every one of you that are a part of it right now. The Overledger network will enable developers to select their favorite blockchains and API services and combine them to build exciting new products with scalable interoperability. Multi-chain oracles. Data providers can sell their off-chain data and make it available to the entire Overledger network ecosystem by running an Overledger gateway. Unlike other Oracle solutions, it signs the data at source with bank-grade security, ensuring it hasn't been tampered in transit, whilst enabling access to be controlled in a private and scalable way. Bank-grade security. Quant Network doesn't play around. And that's why these big banks and financial institutions are very intrigued and currently starting to adopt Overledger Network and integrate it into their own day-to-day processes, because they know that this project has covered every single base and is willing to go the extra mile and has all the security levers and protocols in place to make sure that their transactions are taken care of and completely secured at a bank grade level. Off-chain aggregation by querying multiple gateways using multiple sources means value gets transferred to the data providers rather than being lost by paying extortionate gas fees to miners, enabling frequent updates for inaccurate price feeds rather than at infrequent time intervals. As an example, gateway operator decides to integrate this off-chain data for historical USD GBP FX rates and is selling the data for 1 QNT for each day's rates. All participants of the ecosystem will be able to see the listed service and data offered to buy and consume. Overledger network participants can see the advertised data and service and consume it directly from the gateway, paying the operator the price for the data, handled by the treasury through payment channels, driving further demand for QNT and more locked-in payment channels. You can also run cross-chain oracles to serve the Overledger and wider DLT ecosystem by creating MDApps that can operate as oracles across networks aimed for enterprise, institutional, and developer oracle needs. Gateway staking. I know this is a big one that many of you have been asking about. This is a little bit more detail for you guys to kind of understand the scale of this thing and how incredible this project really is. Gateway operators will have to lock QNT or stake to be able to process requests within Overledger network. The more QNT that the operator stakes, the more requests the gateway is authorized to handle. If the gateway returns faulty data, malevolent behavior, then the deposit gets slashed as punishment to incentivize correct behavior. Staking is also required for helping prioritize gateway operators when there are multiple gateways who can transact the same resources. The gateways that have staked more QNT with the treasury will be ranked in terms of priority by the algorithm to determine who will receive the transaction request. As values of QNT are going to be locked up, Quant are exploring options with new partners and looking at introducing QNT staking for gateway operators to opt into a staking service facilitated by the Treasury to make better use of stationary Quant, where your locked up license will be able to earn staking rewards facilitated by a regulated third party. This will lead to more QNT being locked up and taken out of circulating supply and further reducing token velocity. Signing of transactions. To enforce confidentiality and integrity, QNT are used to validate with the option to sign and encrypt every transaction that flows through Overledger. Every enterprise client, developer, user, and application MDApp validates each transaction using their QNT linked to their MDApp ID and BPI key. No transactions can flow through Overledger without being securely validated by QNT. No third party can view or tamper with transactions and their contents, including Quant when signed and encrypted. Plus, even more utility is being planned in the near future. Little message to Gilbert Verdian. Hi, Gilbert. Are you working on new use cases for the QNT token? Yes, we've got something in the works to upgrade all other tokens. Guys, this is such a special project. And I know I'm doing a lot of reading here, but again, I need to show you the information that's pertinent to this project so you can make the most accurate assessment for your portfolio moving forward. Market size. How big is the total addressable market that Quant Overledger contains? Well, when you have financial infrastructure and capital markets infrastructure globally that is powered by QNT, it's the entire financial system globally. Plus, central banks now getting into this space with CBDCs. It's all connected together by Overledger, guys. There's no hype on this project. That run-up that we just saw over the past week and month, it's not hype-based. It's based on astronomical real-world value and use case. QNT is going to be so incredibly valuable in the future, and with it being such a scarce asset with only 2/3 or 66% of the total max supply of tokens that BTC has, with around 14.6 million, we are looking at a project that if we are in early enough, we will become future millionaires. Guys, this is not a pipe dream. This is not me trying to get one over on you guys. This is not some kind of meme coin garbage that has no backing or actual utility case value. This is the ultimate real world value asset. It is the God token. Every blockchain project, enterprise, developer, and user all need interoperability, not just between blockchains, but with existing networks as well. Quant has built the technology to deliver scalable, future-proof interoperability without imposing restrictions on the underlying blockchains and without the overhead bottleneck of adding another blockchain in the middle. This is what separates it as the cream of the crop. And again, I will provide the link to this incredible article down below so you can see some of these other hyperlinks and click on them if you want to do even further research. I can't go absolutely crazy here, but I'm giving you the best information possible. Here's a tweet from Crypto SEQ. Quant's Overledger isn't a blockchain, but a blockchain operating system that runs on top of blockchains to provide scalable any-to-any interoperability. What does running on top of blockchains actually mean? And this is that image that I showed earlier to you guys. Central banks and banks don't send payments over the public internet. They have mission-critical private infrastructure networks. In order for the tech to be used, it needs to be integrated in those networks. This is why Quant's partnership with SIA is so critically important. Quant Network partner with SIA, a game changer for mass blockchain adoption by financial institutions. Click on that link. That's also a very good one. Highly recommend you looking at that one. The world of SIA, more than 1,700 clients in 50 countries. It's connecting it all together, guys. And the big power players know that Quant is the network that is going to bring it all together seamlessly. And they're going to be onboarding it and are doing so currently. SIA provide a private financial network which is the backbone of the European financial market. SIA, in partnership with Colt and Swift, are the only two providers for the Eurosystem single market infrastructure gateway, granting access to all RTGs, securities and instant payment transactions for all of Europe. Here's another message with Gilbert Verdian from Dread Bongo. People would do well to expand their vision when thinking of SIA. Response from Gilbert. Well, not many people understand the scale of SIA. It's one of the world's largest financial infrastructure that connects central banks, commercial banks, financial institutions, and governments. If you think of any bank globally, they are already connected to SIA Net. They all have access to SIA Chain. And now to Overledger. Overledger is integrated into SIA Chain, part of that private financial network, SIA Net, that is the backbone of the European financial market, enabling the 580 banks, central banks, trading venues that are building projects on SIA Chain to benefit from scalable interoperability. SIA has not only partnered with the European Central Bank, connecting all central banks in Europe to the ESMIG, but also provide networks for other central banks such as Bank of Canada, Nordic central banks, and over 100 plus Tier 1 banks. SIA's recent merger with Nexi makes them Europe's largest payment provider. Combined, they have around 2 million merchants, 120 million cards, and an overall number of processed annual transactions equal to 21 billion euros. Some of the largest blockchain projects in the world are being launched on SIA Chain. One of those is the Spunta project. Spunta is a huge project consisting of the entire Italian banking system and looks to further expand into Europe. See the Twitter thread below for more details, which also covers Quant's meetings with central banks such as the Fed, ECB, BIS, finance regulatory bodies such as the FCA, and William Lavelle, the Bank of England's head of future technology, talking about the project, as well as Quant being made a guarantor of Pay.UK, the UK's largest payment network, where Quant will help shape the payment ecosystem and help set the strategic direction of the payments infrastructure and adopting the new payment architecture, NPA. CBDCs are going to completely overhaul the global financial system, the biggest change since Bretton Woods. Interoperability and standards are going to be the key. Quant Network have laid the foundations for Overledger to be the global infrastructure for CBDCs. Such an enormous project, guys. The scale of this thing knows absolutely no bounds. Quant have also been named as a supplier for the UK government Crown Commercial Services and have partnered with AU Cloud, who work with the Australian government and Department of Defense, validating Quant's technology for being incredibly secure and compliant by being able to operate in the most sensitive of networks. Central banks, banks and enterprises all aren't going to just completely replace their existing infrastructure with blockchain at the flick of a switch. How many times have you guys heard me say that on this channel? There needs to be a proper transition that the banks can still hold a lot of their power from a financial perspective, and they need to have control, so they're not just going to switch over to blockchain. Quant Network allows them to accomplish this mission-critical task. It is going to bridge traditional finance and decentralized finance in an extremely secure way that keeps the banks safe. This is mission-critical infrastructure which entire economies depend on. Quant enables seamless integration with any platform, but of particular importance is Oracle. Every top bank in the world uses Oracle, and Quant have been selected as one of 3 companies as a fintech partner for financial services infrastructure. Oracle invited Quant to attend the leading financial event of the year, Swift Sibos, which I also have a series on. Check it out on my page. Sibos 2022 Crypto Series, with 3 of the 4 videos highlighting Quant and their participation in this year's incredible financial event, the largest financial event, I might add, in the world. Swift Sibos, where Oracle were co-marketing with Quant to take their solution to their 480,000 clients, including meetings with banks, central banks. Every top bank in the world uses Oracle. Only those able to provide use cases that can really change the life of Oracle's customers are chosen for the program and introduced to Tier 1 banks. Quant Network are one of 3 selected for financial services infrastructure, guys. This is not a joke. This project is on the trajectory to be an absolute game changer, and it's why I continue to say, and why the name and title of this video is Quant Network is bigger than all of crypto, because it truly is. The target market for Quant is enormous, and we didn't even cover the tokenization of assets, working capital markets, and partnering with SEC-registered broker AX Trading with 800 clients. This is just one of the verticals Quant is targeting. The sheer scope of this project is difficult to comprehend. Everybody needs interoperability. This project is ridiculous, guys. I have to keep saying it because it's hard for me to even put it into words. Check out the link in the description below so that you can see more of this information on your own time and delve more into it when you have time set aside for yourself. Global finance, this is the Overledger system. Payment rails, asset tokenization, currencies, bonds, equities, real estate, art, etc. Open banking, trade finance, consumer apps, etc. Logistics, shipment, food tracking, luxury goods, blue economy, etc. Are you seeing where this is going, guys? It tackles every single industry and brings it all together seamlessly. It's actually starting to scare me, the scope of this project. Healthcare, systems interoperability, AI analysis, databases reconciliation, etc. IoT, smart cities, smart homes, autonomous vehicles, autonomous drones, etc. Other government records, insurance, telecoms, airlines, airports, space agencies, HTML through DLTs, etc. Community, maps to provide upgraded functionalities versus existing dApps with users across networks, abilities of all networks, universal interconnectivity, including with legacy systems, higher resilience, higher flexibility, horizontal scaling, etc. There is the enterprise version and the community version. Important to understand. There's enterprise grade and community grade, so everybody can be a part of this. Just do yourselves a major favor and click on this link so that you can see all of this, so it visually makes more sense to you when you have time to go through it one by one, each and every one of these incredible links that are in this article. It's going to truly open your eyes as to how much value and use case Quant Network has, and the Overledger system could be connecting absolutely everything in the world together. It blows me away. So with the tech being built, integrated into the largest financial networks in the world, partnering with the largest existing infrastructure providers in the world, the next step is to enable anybody to connect any blockchain or API to Overledger network and be part of the network of networks based on globally recognized standards that Gilbert founded, ISO TC307, which 57 countries are working towards. This model can be reused to connect to distributed databases, big data providers, APIs, and any type of service a gateway wants to provide. Quant are also a founding member of the European Union's International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, INATBA. Participation. The Overledger network is a network of networks which allows enterprise and communities stakeholders to access and participate in a growing hyper-connected decentralized ecosystem. Enterprises, banks, central banks, trading venues, etc. will be able to host their own secure dedicated gateways, enabling secure connectivity to permission networks, permissionless networks, ecosystems, consortia, and other distributed technologies. Community members will also be able to run an Overledger gateway to further enhance the scalability, decentralization, and optimized network latency, providing enterprises, developers, and users choice to use the closest gateway when accessing permissionless blockchains. The Overledger gateways will create a horizontally scalable P2P peer-to-peer network where gateway operators can advertise and sell services, data, APIs, and any other off-chain or on-chain integration or resource you can connect to your gateways for the ecosystem to consume. This creates a positive feedback loop. The competition amongst gateways will lead to a larger variety of blockchains and APIs connected to the ecosystem, leading to higher usage of the network as well as the underlying connected solutions, enabling scalable interoperability between them all. This further creates awareness of the platform, which leads to more blockchains and services being added and higher usage of the platform. Metcalfe's law states that a network's value is proportional to the square of the number of its users. The network of networks effects will cause not only the ecosystem to grow exponentially, but also the value of the network as more and more join the ecosystem. These network effects lead to explosive growth as seen with the internet and other social media platforms. QNT captures the value of all connected blockchains and APIs, and all connected blockchains and APIs benefit from being part of the network of networks. It's a symbiotic relationship, guys, between Quant and all these enterprises. The more the network grows, the more interconnectivity that all of these corporations create and experience together, and the absolute connections and networks that are created and real life business opportunities and transactions will be afforded by this incredible scale of interconnectivity that has never been experienced before. Quant Network is truly opening up enormous doors for these companies across the globe on a small and large scale. The next piece in the puzzle is how to connect these gateways together and create a protocol that can be the foundation for the evolution of today's internet. An internet which is secure, inherently trustworthy, and builds the foundation for the next generation of connected businesses. Connecting the internet directly to blockchain will allow websites to be natively created and served directly from blockchains without the need to have, run, and maintain web servers, web services, SSL certificates, etc., and all running in a completely trusted, extremely resilient, tamper-proof environment. Thanks to Gilbert Verdian for an incredibly insightful interview. The sheer scope of this project is insane. Creation of an internet-scale protocol to move digital assets involving Quant, MIT, U.S. government, Intel, Juniper, payment and telecom companies. And again, we can take a look at this link here. The link will be below in the description for you. Quant are collaborating with Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, U.S. government, Intel, Juniper Networks, payment companies, and telecommunication companies to create Open Digital Asset Protocol, an open blockchain-agnostic protocol enabling interoperability of assets and messages across DLTs, as well as Oracle functionality with the use of decentralized trusted compute-based gateways, similar to how BGP protocol enables communication between different AS through gateways. BGP routers. BGP is the protocol that makes the internet work today, but was never designed with security in mind. Quant Network and MIT. Proposal for Open Digital Asset Protocol, ODAP, an open blockchain agnostic protocol enabling interoperability of assets and messages across DLTs, as well as Oracle functionality with the use of decentralized trusted compute-based gateways. A question I'm often asked is, how does Interledger and Overledger compare? Interledger is designed for payments, which it does very well, but in terms of interoperability, its scope is limited to the transfer of value of fungible assets. Overledger goes way beyond that. Also, XRP tagged in here too. You guys know I'm a major XRP believer. Token velocity. Quant's token velocity is reduced from multiple sources outlined below. Annual licenses lock QNT up in payment channels for 12 months. Once the license is renewed, QNT is locked for a further 12 months. Trustless Layer 2 payment channels provide scalability for transaction fees in QNT, despite it being an ERC20 token, with the vast majority of transactions being performed off-chain instantly, with only minimal transactions being done on-chain. The payment channels require a lockup of QNT in order to be used. The more QNT locked up and the longer for, the cheaper QNT transaction will be as more transactions are sent off-chain, thus reducing the token velocity compared to other platforms used for transaction fees, and that longer and bigger QNT lockups will be beneficial for the QNT market price. Payment channels are used for payments to gateways to perform tasks, licenses, purchase of MDApps, off-chain data feeds, access to APIs, etc., all contributing to more QNT being locked up in payment channels. Gateway operators will have to lock QNT or stake to operate within Overledger network. The more that is staked, the more requests the gateway is authorized to handle. Staking is also required for helping prioritize gateway operators when there are multiple gateways who can transact the same resources. The gateways that have staked more QNT with the treasury will be ranked in terms of priority by the algorithm to determine who will receive the transaction request. Quant are exploring options with new partners and looking at introducing QNT staking for gateway operators to opt into a staking service facilitated by the Treasury to make better use of stationary QNT, where your locked up license will be able to earn staking rewards facilitated by a regulated third party. The token has all the attributes for an excellent potential store of value, and people will be more inclined to hold it, thus reducing token velocity further. Token supply, as we have touched on in the video already. Quant has a very small supply of just 14.6 million QNT. No new tokens will ever be minted and there is no inflation. The team only hold a small percentage of tokens compared to most projects, giving you more security as to understanding that this is not a pump and dump. This is not some, scam project or scam coin, because you're always going to hear haters, and I've seen many haters and people that don't understand the true scope and scale of Quant Network saying that it's a pump and dump scheme and it's a trash coin, it's a crap coin. It's simply not the case. All they have to do is watch this video to know that to be very untrue, and they are very ignorant. As tokens are locked up through annual licenses, payment channels, and gateway staking, the circulating supply of QNT will reduce, creating deflationary pressures and lead to price increases. Unlike most projects, the token is needed by everyone, including enterprises, which is where the most adoption is going to be. The Quant Treasury facilitates enterprises to pay in fiat, which then gets converted to QNT rather than enterprises themselves having to purchase from exchanges directly. The team. Gilbert Verdian, the CEO, his CV speaks for itself. Having over 20 years of industry experience, he has gained many contacts and understanding of how large companies and governments operate at the highest level. Working for PwC, HSBC, EY, and various roles in government, in addition to being part of the Committee for the European Commission, U.S. Federal Reserve, and the Bank of England. Before starting Quant, he was the Chief Information Security Officer for Vocalink, MasterCard, where he was in charge of security for the entire payments in the UK, managing 6 trillion euros per year. This is no schmuck here. Gilbert Verdian is the OG. He is leading this project to the promised land, and he is going to deliver it across the goal line. I have no doubt about it. Martin Hargreaves recently joined as Chief Product Officer. He has 12 years experience at Vocalink and was the Vice President of Product. Vocalink MasterCard managed the entire payment system for the UK as well as other payment networks in the US, Singapore, among others. Guy Dietrich, Managing Director of Rockefeller Capital, who manage assets worth over $30 billion, joined the board of directors and has attended meetings personally with Gilbert, such as with the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK. Neil Smith, former CEO and now vice chairman at Comcast, second largest broadcasting and cable television company in the world, has joined the board of directors to help grow the company and has the perfect background and experience in large-scale internet networks. I'm both delighted and honored to become part of the Quant team, said Neil Smith. The company is a clear leader in one of the most exciting fields of technology right now, and the potential for growth is enormous. I'm excited to be in a position to help realize that growth. Gilbert Verdian, CEO of Quant Network, commented, "Building our presence in the U.S. is critical to our business strategy, and Neil has the perfect background and experience in large-scale internet networks to help achieve our vision. We're delighted that he has accepted a position on our board." Big-time heavy hitters are on this board of directors for Quant Network. A sustainable business model. Time and time again, we are seeing projects having to cease operations or significantly cut back on staff, costs to try and survive a little longer. Once funds run out from ICO, then what's the plan? Less funds for future development, growth of the platform, which in turn has a big impact on investment opportunities. Unlike most projects, which set up a foundation to kickstart the ecosystem and dissolve once funds run out, Quant Network is already producing revenue and brought in almost $10 million last year before the coronavirus hit. They are rapidly expanding, increasing staff levels as well as expanding to the US and other parts of the world through their partners such as the Big Four, the largest professional services companies in the world. This allows them to grow exponentially over the years, develop the platform further, and create additional revenues, which results in more QNT being locked up through licenses. In summary, guys, to break down what this is all about, there isn't another project that comes close to the tokenomics of Quant, especially at its current market cap, which has grown exponentially since this article has been released. With 2/3 the total supply of Bitcoin and zero inflation, everybody needs interoperability, and Quant is working with central banks, governments, enterprises, some of the largest payment infrastructure networks in the world to re-architect the entire financial system and work in collaboration with MIT, Intel, Juniper Networks, payment and telecom companies to build a protocol to be the foundation for the evolution of today's internet. An internet which is secure, inherently trustworthy, and builds the foundation for the next generation of connected businesses. Quant enables scalable interoperability between any blockchain and any API existing network without the overhead and bottleneck of adding another blockchain in the middle, providing enterprise-grade multi-DLT Oracle functionality, a horizontally scalable network of networks where the ecosystem will grow exponentially and developers, consumers, and enterprises are all able to extract value from the ecosystem. QNT captures the value of all connected blockchains and APIs. It has incredible utility from annual license fees, platform fees, transaction fees, payments in the marketplace, gateway staking to process more transactions, signing of transactions, and more. Enterprises can pay in fiat, which then seamlessly gets converted to QNT through the treasury. It's blockchain agnostic, regardless of which blockchains come out as the leading platforms. They will all need interoperability, not just between blockchains, but existing networks as well. It's a hedge against inflation. Even Bitcoin has inflation until the 21 million have been mined. With Quant, there is none. It's not going to happen overnight, but Quant has the potential to be an incredible store of value and an extremely rewarding long-term investment, and I encourage everyone to look into it further and do your own research. The only thing that he left out here in this article is Quant Network is the God token, the GOD tier token. Nothing can compare, and it's why I have dove full-on headfirst into this YouTube channel to get the word out to the public and to those of you who may not be aware. So hit that subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications so you guys can further your generational wealth trajectory. My channel is the best place to do that at. We just recognized that Quant is doing what Ripple promised. Quant and SIA Europe successfully tested cross-blockchain interoperability between multiple distributed ledger technology protocols on SIA's interbank network, SIANet. SIA is the backbone for financial institutions, central banks, corporates, and the public sector to process their transactions. It was clear that Quant's operating system provides the layer for blockchain interoperability in the financial services sector. From Enzo Villani, managing partner at Alpha Sigma Capital. As awareness is increasing for Quant Network after recent announcements, I encourage everyone to see the thread below providing more details around the project. Excellent team, tech, use cases, tokenomics, partners. Quant has it all. Switching gears here over to Twitter for some quick tweets here before we wrap the video up today. Thank you for sticking with me and learning more about the incredible scope of Quant Network. From Six Digital Exchange, SDX Global on Twitter. This is a tweet from Greg Lunt, 27, one of the top Quant Network influencers on social media. Highly recommend you check him out. What do you think it'll take for blockchain interoperability? 89% of the 2,263 voters said tech advance like Quant. They specifically mentioned Quant because it is the ultimate technological advancement. For the second time in 2 months, Gilbert Verdian has been invited to speak alongside SDX Global, the world's first fully regulated digital asset exchange. It's also the second time SDX has deliberately tweeted Quant, rather than just tagging the company. SDX defines Quamfi, QNT. The final tweet for today's video from Sloppy Subi. Quant's connections to central banks in a simplistic view. Overledger is bigger than crypto. It's only a matter of time. 10K plus. Quant didn't even cover everything. Didn't even come close to. But that's okay, Sloppy Subi, because I did it for you. Earlier in this video, Quant connections with central banks, Digital Pound Foundation member, Central Bank of Europe partnering with Nexi, Amazon Web Services, other worldwide partnerships excluding digital assets, Oracle, Hyperledger, Corda, SIA, Six Exchange, Powers, LackChain, Central Bank of Australia, multi-CBDC platform based on Corda. Guys, Quant Network connects them all. And I hope this video was extremely informative for you and helped you understand just how incredible of an asset this token is. QNT could be the solution to your financial woes. Not financial advice, but it could very well be the investment of your lifetime. I will even go on record as to saying myself, I personally believe it to be the greatest investment on planet Earth. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. This has been another feature presentation by MF Crypto, aka Quant, the number one source for all your crypto needs. I'll see you next episode. Cheers.